He will be.
He will get his ass here on time next time, is what we're going to say. Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky, supplement engineer. Joining me, as always, are the other 2/3 of the 3/4 of our podcast team that has decided to show up on time and is not out buying bullshit and appliances. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, we're talking about Lord Babyface is taking his sweet royal highness time getting here today. Either way, we are back better than ever, as always. Robert Samborsky, Apollon Nutrition, Lukasz, Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology. Welcome, my family and friends. For listeners tuning on the live stream, we welcome you as always. Post up any comments, questions, queries, quips, or smart ass remarks you might have for our panel of industry experts, game changers, innovators, and thought leaders.
Hey, Robert. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I would teach you some very important words.
Oh no.
Two words. Chwała Ukrainie.
What does that mean?
It means like uh, not
Something
have
Ukraine, I figured.
not have faith in Ukraine, but like cherish Ukraine, bless Ukraine, those kind of things.
Yeah, stand strong kind of thing.
Yeah, and like the entire world is right now like saying these two words. So in Polish, it's this how we say it. Chwała Ukrainie. But it's like I thought it will be a good start of the podcast. Plus,
Yeah.
I also wanted to say congrats on a quick movie that Robic released with his team. That was a pretty outstanding stuff. I
Yeah.
watched it. I watched it like today because I was busy this week, due to the FIBO and so on, and just like catch up, this weekend, and was like, yeah, that was awesome. So, congrats,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you so much, Lucas. Yeah, we filmed it about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's a friend of mine who is actually a police officer, but he's also a filmmaker. He actually had a few awards, like documentaries, and he does like short films and stuff. So idea came to do something. Actually, Shane knows about it as well because he's pretty good when it comes to this kind of stuff. And the idea was to film something that would be very genuine. So um, the idea was basically not to have anything scripted. So
Mm-hmm.
I literally had no idea what he's going to ask me. So he was asking me questions behind the camera, and and then I would just answer, and everything was one take. So there was absolutely no rehearsal. There was absolutely no knowledge or anything like that, which was a little bit scary because it could have been a little bit emotional, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
but it came out pretty good and very authentic, very genuine. And in terms of editing and everything else, it was done by Damon. He's so that was pretty cool, and the reception has been absolutely tremendous. Like people were reaching out from everywhere. It definitely touched a lot of people, which was obviously the purpose of all this. And the very next day we saw the atrocities that happened. In Ukraine and the bombings and stuff like that. So it made it even more valid to do so. But obviously, you know what? I don't want to because we still mostly supplements, so I want to take away from that. But first of all, thank you again for everybody's support because this is very important to I guess to speak up on that, just like Lucas does nonstop and everybody who is involved. I mean, I can't say enough thank you and gratitude to the Polish people because what they're doing is absolutely outstanding. But it's more than just Polish people or or European people. It's actually, I think that it's a tragedy of the world, and some people don't even realize it. And but the ones that do are doing an amazing job. And I actually made a post this morning that a lot of people have been reaching out and asking if it was directed at them, because I said that I am, like, I think when I watched Sean Penn interview with Hannity, he said something very, very important that has to do mostly probably with Americans, how divided the country is. And we saw the unity of the Ukrainian people, not only Ukrainian people, Eastern Europe, again, specifically Poland. It's not about money and it's not about, making a certain statement. It's more about people coming together in a time of need and helping each other and really supporting each other and having each other's back, where they can face the evil in the face and do the right thing. And I think that's the most important thing. And I think that we saw the division, not just when it even when it comes to this war. Some people still think that it's staged, that it's not true, that it's an act, that somebody's sabotaging Russia. But we all know the truth. We know exactly what's going on. But when I posted the video and when I reached out to a lot of people who have Instagram or they have social media or presence or platform, it was mostly to create awareness, because I firmly believe the more we speak about this, the more we reach and the more we create awareness as to what is going on. And if it's like a bully, if you don't stand up to a bully, guess what? Today he's punching you, tomorrow he's punching your friend, and then the next day he's punching your family, and there is no stopping him. So only like standing up to a bully is the only way to prevent what's going on right now. And I can't stress enough that how disappointed I am with some people who have an extreme, and they say, well, it's not their problem. It is your problem. You just don't know it yet, because you're so ignorant and so live in your own little bubble that you don't realize that what's going on has to do with the entire world. We all affected by it. It's not, sometimes people post like, yeah, but Rob is Ukrainian. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the fact that, you have to do what's right. And what's right is standing up to evil and standing up and doing, and at least trying to make a difference. So for those who support it, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And, again, thank you, Lukasz, for opening the show with Slava Ukraini. That's really, really, really important. And I think that, fuck you, because I should have thought about it. So you stole my line, motherfucker.
What, people just need to realize that Ukrainians are not just like fighting for themselves, but they are also fighting for others, because they are like a proof. And also, I would say people should take a look at themselves and just realize that such a small country is against like a huge opponent that has much more like gears and like war power on its end. And just look at them, they're like fighting, they are not running. Yeah, we do have some Ukrainians here, but these are just like women and children that just had to run against the fucking bombs and so on. So yeah, right now we have like 2.5 million Ukrainians in Poland. And you know what? It's funny because the more I'm going, to the city, I see like much more like people in from Ukraine, and also the cars are also with with the Ukrainians numbers. So that
the license plates.
yeah, the license plates. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's neat. But I'm also seeing like some people in the shops that started working, and they also like communicate in Ukrainian language, because you can hear it like right now, basically in like everywhere, not only in shops but also outside and so on. So, but people are friendly, they understand what's going on. So, yeah, we need to just realize, like I said, it's not just their war, it's our war, basically, So right now everything is going well. I heard from my client, one of the biggest clients in Ukraine, that has probably around 20 shops in entire Ukraine. He said that he opened like 90% of his shops already, and he's giving like a discount, that was active before the war for all the people, so they can buy if they want their supplements or anything like that. They're also like providing help to military, so they're also donating some supplements for them, like protein powder, protein bars and so on, which is also amazing, I think, and it also helps them, to fight and so on. So yeah, situation is improving from what I'm hearing. So let's hope that it's the end of everything, because the restrictions are putting a big emphasis into a big, dictator. So I don't want to name the guy because I don't want to give him like free marketing. So fuck you, asshole.
How close is the language to between Ukrainian and Polish?
We can,
I think we can understand each other, right,
yeah,
Lou?
yeah, we
Yeah.
can understand each other. They got more similarities to Russian language, I would say.
Right.
But if I'm speaking with like a Ukrainian guy, he can understand me pretty well, and I can also understand them if they speak to themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess, the French, Italian, and Spanish are kind of all have that same genesis, and so there's
Yeah,
there's differences, but you can kind of understand where people are going. So I was wondering if it was similar between Russian, Polish, and Ukrainian, and some of like that Eastern Bloc, the languages between the different countries.
yeah, just like you when you're going to New York, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see somebody from like the Bronx, New York, go down to like Redneckville, USA, and like southwestern Louisiana with the rest of like the Roughnecks, Roustabouts, and like the Coonasses and stuff. Man, you get them two talking at each other. It's probably the same as somebody speaking French and somebody speaking, Italian or something like that. It's just half of
Yeah,
it goes
man,
over your head.
that's slang.
Yeah, man. Devin, Robbie, would you change anything about your products if cost was not a factor?
Wow, Devin always asks difficult questions. I mean, uh, let's go back to 2015. In 2015, our first manufacturer was NutraBio, and the very, very first hooligan that we did was nowhere near what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna give probably away some secrets here, but and Mark's not gonna like it, but I think that it's just good, but it answers the question, so to speak. So I didn't know anything about the cost of products. I honestly didn't. I didn't have consultant. I didn't have advisors. I didn't have anything. Later on, I found out that the average pre-workout cost anywhere between 3, 4 back in the day to like I don't know $8, $9 or something like that, 10 at the most. That's considered to be the highest one.
Mm-hmm.
And the first hooligan. I mean, I'm not gonna blame Mark because our runs were very, very small. So, I appreciate any help that I could get. But I remember I put the formula. It wasn't the best formula. I would say that was the worst hooligan, but it was also the first one. But back in the day, back in 2015, by comparison, it was probably still one of the most of the better ones on the market for sure. Definitely the hardest hitting one because that one had 450 milligram of caffeine, which was unheard of back in the day, but it was pretty solid formula. So the formula cost me over $18. That's how much Mark charged me, $18, which was a bit of a ripoff, but it was $18. So if you factor the cost of label and the cost of everything, the pre-workout back in the day, Hooligan was $20, and the formula is nowhere near what it is today. So the reason why I'm saying it is to illustrate that I didn't factor the cost. I factored the formula. I put together what I wanted in a formula, not thinking about the cost because the average pre-workout back then, especially, premium pre-workout was around $40, $45. I think that was Jim Stepani was charging, I think like $40 for his. So to me, being a little bit not very knowledgeable, it seemed to me like, wow, it's 100% profit. So that to me looked like pretty impressive because we didn't sell to stores or anything like that. From a business perspective, it was worth every penny. Again, I didn't know that I was definitely overcharged at the moment tremendously. But, and if I was to sell to wholesale, that would be pretty much impossible to sell. Not that it was the goal in the first place. Today, I think that, with prices of ingredients being what they are today, clearly, Hooligan is nowhere near $10 cost. I mean, it's an expensive product, and everything that we do, Robert, you and I never discuss. I mean, maybe we discussed it once with the joint formula, but other than that, we don't really talk when it comes to cost, which I'm pretty sure, without giving anything away, with your other, collaborators, partners, or customers, I'm pretty sure the cost does come into equation, and I'm not blaming them. I think that's the right approach to do. I mean, we are running a business. It's just, I think that when it comes to Apollon, there are certain expectations, and we cannot afford talking about the cost, because I think it's actually going to hurt the brand more than anything. And the customers, again, our customer, I'm always saying it, is Lukasz. Lukasz is our customer, people that are knowledgeable. If I were to give right now, like we're about 2 weeks from releasing Hooligan, right? Lukasz knows exactly what's in Hooligan. If he's to buy the product, he knows exactly what's in it. So naturally, somebody like him, he's going to look for a better version. Otherwise, he's not going to accept it. He's not going to, he's going to be the first one to destroy Apollon's reputation and saying, like, listen, these fuckers are, cutting corners, and they are looking where to save money and stuff like that. Am I right, Lukasz? I mean, and it's natural.
Yeah.
It's a natural approach. You can't really blame him, because maybe he's not going to pick on Muscle Tech and C4 and Optimum, and rightfully so. Again, I'm not talking negatively about them. It's just a different market. It's different product. It's different brand. But Apollon, he's going to be the first one. He's going to come on the final scoop, and he's going to rip us to shreds. So
Can I interject? Can I interject in this topic? Because funny thing is, because like 2 days ago, TJ posted a poll on a YouTube on his channel, and he was asking this question: which brand never disappointed you? And there were like few brands mentioned, and there was also like Apollon. And honestly, I'm not being biased here.
I didn't even see it, to be honest.
Honestly, I'm not biased or anything like that. My first intention was like right away. I clicked on Apollon because it was one of the it's the one of the brands that you know it it has this clear point that it keeps it growing and growing and growing and upgrading with every year, with every formula, and every formula it may be, I wouldn't say it's better, but it's different, it's unique, and it offers something different for every customer. So, for example, it's really appealing for me because the re-editions of like Hooligan or Assassin or something like that, they offer a bit different experience, which is so neat, and that's what I like.
Yeah,
So yeah,
no, well, thank you. And again, I mean, that brings basically to the point. We cannot afford cutting corners. We just can't. The question number one on everybody's mind right now, what is the new Hooligan? And the hardcore guys, the guys who are hardcore followers, fans of the brand, they already know the answer without even looking at the formula. This is going to be Hooligan, but better. And that's what I'm saying. I'm actually should probably like use the quote in promoting the product. It's Hooligan. It's the same fucking Hooligan, but better. Otherwise, I don't see a point of releasing it. I see some of the brands, even the ones that they're rebranding, and they're doing things, differently. Like, I mean, let's take Morphogen, and this is definitely by no means a knock on them, but and I respect Ben tremendously, but I would not do what he did. It's and maybe Morphogen can get away with it. Apollon cannot get away with it. Like, you cannot take Hooligan and make it a Lionheart. A Hooligan has going to have to remain Hooligan. And I've seen some people saying, like, well, maybe change Hooligan to less than 600 milligram of caffeine. I can't do that. There are expectations from the product, and I have to keep it as is. You want something weaker, go and buy Lionheart. You want something non-stim, go buy bare knuckle. We're giving you the options, but at the end of the day, it has to remain. But if you take, for example, Morphogen, the new pre-workout, it's vastly different from the previous one. It almost looks like a different product. So for those that were fans of the original ones, or the original one, they have to think like, well, is this product for me? While those that who are buying Hooligan, the new one, is still going to be for them. Without any shadow of a doubt, they're going to love the product because it's going to be for them. So, we have to do whatever's best for us. And, to see, to see that, what Damon says, we wouldn't change anything. We would probably be the same. And price is really it's always a factor in every business, but not so much when it comes to us. We're definitely going to be losing some of the profits unless we jack up the price on the new product. We're going to be losing because obviously we're paying more, but that just comes with the territory. And I see Simon's question to see Apollon, I guess, got 18%. That doesn't really, that doesn't really upset me.
I
Or
think
this,
it's a spread between so many
yeah,
brands.
yeah, it's a spread between, and you have to realize something. Not a knock on TJ, because I didn't even see the poll, and I what Lukasz said, I can imagine that there were probably what 5, 10, 15, 20 brands probably. There
Yeah,
was probably,
yeah, or even more.
yeah, so 18% is really actually not that bad. It's actually pretty impressive if you think
Yeah,
about it. But we also have to remember something, that all these polls, I'm pretty sure there are companies that have nothing to do with a poll. Every company, every brand has their own fans. We saw Jim Stepani's pre-workout last week. I personally said that I like the formula, and I think it actually corresponds with what Jim does for his army. But Lukasz, and we were not in disagreement. I agreed with him wholeheartedly. But Lukasz was like, "Yeah, I see it. I'm not buying it," and that's just not his product. So will Lukasz vote for Jim if there is a poll? 100% no. He's definitely not going to vote, and you can't blame him because it's just not his brand. That's why all these polls, I mean, they're really meaningless, and they kind of dumb if you think about it. Because if you take I don't know, Lukasz, help me out with this. What is the who is also kind of like similar to Apollon in terms of hardcore? What other brand?
you put me on the spot right now.
Okay, let's just say for argument's sake, Inspired. I mean, it's not really because it's still different, but let's just say, so if Inspired and Apollon were about the same, and you put them in a poll, then it means something. But if you're gonna put
Let's go with chemics.
Chemics, yeah. But if you put Apollon, say for example, against Radcon or Salucor, well, number one, Apollon's going to get its ass kicked easily because of the sheer volume of the brand, and how big they are. But
Yeah.
it's also not a fair comparison. It's just stupid. It's like the same thing as saying right now, who is a better supporter of Ukraine? Poland, that is a tiny little country, or United States, that is a massive country, and so powerful? And the answer is pretty easily Poland. What they've been
We
doing is
should kick
absolutely
your
insane.
ass.
It's not a fair comparison.
Yeah. Poland can still kick your ass.
For the listeners that may not have seen the poll, Lukasz, do you know any of the other companies that were on there, just so we can kind of get a spectrum of see, like, were they putting the likes of Cellucor, Muscle Tech, like some of these big name, very casual fitness enthusiast directed brands, I would say, versus more of like I don't want to say niche because that makes the brand seem smaller than it is, but more focused brands than those just going after the general fitness or gym rat.
I remember there was like only few mentioned, but there was definitely Alpha Lion.
Mm-hmm.
There was Dark Labs, and there was also option to choose other. Oh yeah. As Simon, I see the Simon is on top of his game. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about that. They I guess I didn't see the poll, so I'm just gonna try to maybe guess and see. Was TJ going for just like what in the view of like what's the best hitting pre-workouts that you've had from a particular brand that just never let you down?
No, I don't think so. I think he was just like asking, his followers about, which brand, is consistent as far as the releases and so on. Not only pre-workout based, products, because you need to realize that brand is not only about pre-workout. Nowadays, like people like focus only on one category, which is like pre-workouts, and they're like, so dumb asses, I think, and they base an opinion only on one product, and they don't realize that for example, like Apollon offers so much neat products. I'm using the word neat because I learned it like a few weeks ago, and I loved it so much that I'm like trying to incorporate it every fucking time. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
Just say Robert looks so neat.
Yeah,
I do my best.
He looks beautiful.
There we go.
Now, but anyways, like I said, it's all about, the consumer need to be like more open-minded and just like see and realize that, a brand is not just about one category, but it's about like more products. Apollon released like last year how many SKUs, Robert?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's just mind blowing, and the brand is growing and growing, and it's putting some crazy ass formulas, and so yeah, that's what I think should be rewarded, and I think that's what TJ wanted to get from this poll.
Fair enough. Sridhar, I think this marks the first time Sridhar has commented without Shane being present.
That's Shane.
That's what I'm wondering. It's Shane's lurking in the background somewhere. Sridhar, I was surprised by the results too. Dark Labs and Other had 35% each. See, the fact that Dark Labs is at the top makes me think that everybody submitting for this poll is basing it purely off of like
you're not
pre-workouts, because that's pretty much what Dark Labs
does.
does.
But you're not entirely off, unfortunately, because again, what Lukasz said, everybody's paying attention to pre-workouts. That's just the way it is. But on the other hand, and I'm not talking about like financials right now or anything like that, because it's unnecessary, and I don't know how much what company makes. But I would argue that Alpha Line, for example, I mean, they're pretty much doing very well financially. I'm pretty sure, probably among the better ones that I see on this list. I know what Apollon does, and I know that how much we have grown tremendously and keep growing, and I mean, our accomplishments and everything speak for themselves. And like Lukasz said, I mean, we have a lot of. I myself sometimes I post on Apollon Nutrition Instagram, and yesterday I was the one who posted with all the protein containers. I mean, as of right now, we have 3 types of protein, and all fucking transparent, all fucking great tasting. I mean, you've tried them, you know what they taste like. You've seen the formulas, you've seen the transparency. And I said, I made a comment from kings of pre-workouts to kings of protein, and I mean, I exaggerated maybe a little bit, but I wasn't that far off. Because if you think about it, or our pre-workouts at this point, we have about 5 or 6 of them, and they're hitting all different aspects. I don't even know what other company, maybe Cellucor to an extent, but they still don't have a hard hitting like Apollon. So if you're talking from a non-stem to medium to high stem to fully dosed to fully transparent to fully fucking packed, honestly, and even if I'm being biased, everybody can go fuck themselves because it's true. Nobody can stand next to Apollon, like literally not one company. And I'm willing to fucking argue with anyone on this one. Not one company can deliver in terms of pre-workouts the way Apollon does. That's pretty much a done deal. But Lukasz is right. It's not just about pre-workouts. I mean, take fat burners from example: Shogun, Black Tulip, Chaos, Molotov. I mean, you have 4 completely different pre-workouts ranging from powder to hard hitting to euphoric to non-stem, and all 4 of them deliver. I mean, Overtime right now is most definitely the strongest hard hitting nootropic, but we're about to release something that is going to be complete opposite, but possibly better and hitting completely different market. So when it comes to dark labs, they have a very, very good following. They definitely have a solid, clearly product. It's a little bit on the funky side with DMAA and DMHA, and that's it. I mean, listen, it's not manufactured in the United States. They're not really sort of kind of breaking the law. They have a very, very good following. They have legions of followers. Can they beat Apollon when it comes to products? Absolutely fucking no. They can't beat Alpha Lion either. But in what they do and they niche, they pretty solid and they have a solid following and apparently a solid product, even though I haven't tried. But from what I understand, it is good. But we're going back now to TJ. TJ did something that Review Brothers did, and I don't agree with it. Because, I mean, again, it's his channel. He can do whatever he wants, and maybe he had nothing to do, so he decided to play little games, to entertain himself. But literally putting Dark Labs and Alpha Lion and Apollon together in a group, it's the same thing as putting Kia and Lamborghini and Mercedes in the same group. It's not quite the same. Not saying that you can't do it, it just looks kind of dumb. And then you also look at TJ's channel. What does TJ's channel do? I mean, 90% of TJ's channel is pre-workouts. And mostly who he has following, you can post a pre-workout. Let's say a solid pre-workout would be, I don't know, not a very hard-hitting pre-workout like Ghost or something like that. Solid pre-workout, they actually have a very good product. Do you think that TJ followers will be buying that product? Some of them will, but I guarantee you not a lot. Dark Labs is going to shit all over Ghost when it comes from sales and and a code and stuff like that when it comes to TJ's channel. That's also a proven fact. But Ghost will outsell Dark Labs by a mile. So you have that, it's the same thing as going to to an average American football fan and talking to him about soccer. He's gonna go like, fucking soccer what? That's an average fan. But you go out,
That's exactly how I am.
yeah, but if you go outside the United States, then American football pretty much doesn't exist.
Yeah, we look like the chumps.
So the thing is, it's just like, try to imagine do like college football or American football poll somewhere in Europe or in South America. They're literally gonna think that you lost your mind because they don't even know. I lived here since '97. I still don't know the rules of American football. I'm not proud of it. I'm not embarrassed by it. It's just a fact, and it is what it is. So for TJ's channel to compare Alpha Lion, I'm throwing Apollon completely out. Alpha Lion and Dark Labs. I mean, it's the same thing as comparing us to Ben Kane. I mean, come on, there are levels to this. We also have better skin. So sorry.
Since y'all brought up Ghost, this actually brings me up of a news story that I just saw on Stacked yesterday. I'm curious to get your thoughts on what you guys might think we can expect from there. Is it showing up? Just to make sure my camera's working. Yeah, so it's going to release a more hardcore version. So I guess let's keep this in the context of where Ghost is currently and what, a hardcore deviation or derivation of that could be, or like a fork off of what the main one would be. So if y'all have any ideas of what it could be. I haven't talked to Dan offline, so I have no idea what in the world they're cooking up there.
I mean, it's probably, I'm guessing, so I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, you're wrong. I might be wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't think you should expect Apollon on this one. I don't think it's going to be Hooligan. I also don't think it's definitely not going to be Dark Labs. What I think is that what we discussed before, this is going to be a hardcore version of their own following, of their own. This is going to be like Jim Stepani released a pre-workout last week, but it's going to be pretty much just a better or a slightly improved or slightly hardcore version of the original one. So I don't think you should expect 500-600 milligram of caffeine, 25,000 milligram of God knows what else. This is going to be, first of all, Ghost Legend is a solid pre-workout. I actually like it. I think this is going to be XL version, so to speak. I think it's going to be pretty much the same, but better or stronger, slightly.
Yeah, I would probably guess because I know I'm like they have the partnership with GNC. So I wonder, like, they're obviously not going to be throwing stuff like urea drones in there,
No,
DMHA. So,
no,
like,
no.
they'll probably, if I had to guess, they'll up the amount of alpha-yohimbine that's in there and maybe bump the caffeine to like 350. I don't know if they're going to break that 400 mark, but they might go up to
You,
350.
you might see a
Probably.
little bit of things like probably, I mean, it's a guess, an extra or T-creen or something to
Hmm.
enhance certain things, but that's pretty much the extent of it. Again, could be wrong, so I don't want everyone to jump on us and say like, "Oh, you were wrong." We might be wrong, but I think that
Yeah.
Ghost is pretty solid when it comes to marketing. They're pretty solid when it comes to planning. They very well organized. So I think is pretty much what you said. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating as well, so I don't want to get shit on this or anything like that. But I don't think that this hardcore version will be released in like GNCs or like maybe outside US. I think this particular product will be only available in US,
Hmm.
and I don't think that they will like go move to like Australia or even Europe or UK, because I don't think that have they that they can produce product that will be compliant for both markets.
Hmm.
If if they are aiming for like a hardcore version, I same as Robic, I think that this will be like a legend, but with like a bit upgraded engine, if I could say that. So
Yeah.
let's see what they will produce. If it's gonna be just like some sprinkled like extra caffeine or like added, let's say, dynamine or theocrine, I won't be like super happy about it. I'm expecting something much bigger from Ghost, and I think that they can produce something really interesting and also innovative, and that's what I'm counting for. So
I'm
Unless,
curious.
of course, they're gonna go like unbound route and maybe go straight into retail stores if they can have an agreement with GNC and stuff like that. Then maybe they can get a little adventurous. But considering again, from what I see, from Price Plow, who are the biggest fans of this brand, for they like cheerleaders. Considering that Ben was saying shitty thing about hygienamine, hordenine, area durensis, and stuff like that, I don't think that that Dan would allow his bitch to fucking open his mouth like that if it was a little bit something more fun. So I still think that I'm gonna go with Robert and say that this is gonna be extra caffeine and probably like an extra Ticrene, alpha yohimbe, and more like within allowed Amazon GNC vitamin shop parameters. That's what I think it's going to be, which doesn't make it bad.
Yeah, some reworked pump ingredients are up in the dosages on those possibly. I
Hmm.
don't know. I'm curious to see what they do. I'm curious to see what it's going to be. And then we go to where's the? I just saw it. Protein powders, steak and eggs coming from Core. There was, I knew of a brand maybe 2 years ago, year and a half ago, that was exploring doing a similar concept, doing a combination of beef protein and egg protein. I haven't heard much of that, so I don't know if that got shelved or not. But this is a. What do y'all think on this steak and egg blend?
It's cool to see, but when you look a little bit more through it, I don't see a big deal because I mean, steak is basically beef protein, obviously, and
Mhm.
steak and egg is egg, so it's egg and beef protein. That's all it is. The only trick about it is gonna be to flavor it. It's a cool concept, but it's nothing crazy that that will turn the industry upside down. It's just a cool thing to see, and hopefully the flavoring is good because this is not going to be easy to flavor. We've tried beef protein, and for most part, it's rough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common breakfast combination. I don't know if it
Hmm.
is in
Yeah.
Poland for you, Lucas, but like steak and eggs is a thing here in the States at diners you go to, and they'll give you like this shitty little steak that's about that big, and they put two fried eggs with it, and then you get bacon and biscuits and all kinds of other good stuff.
Flank steak or what?
Yeah.
Any steak, pretty much.
You're like a sirloin or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay, Shane, this was the other thing I was referring to. Pradeep was working on a steak and eggs protein. I didn't want to say that without.
No, they had it. They had it back in the days, right?
Yeah, they were working on it a couple of years ago, and then but then
this one.
Yeah, but that never came to fruition, or maybe it's still in the works. I don't know. But yeah.
Well, I think it's their spin on basically on egg protein. So on top, instead of using whey, which is right now ridiculous as far as the prices goes, they tried a different route. So I'm sure that like Doug wants to he doesn't want to cut corners, but at the same time he just trying to give people some alternative, and at the same time gain some margins, so that's why he's trying something different. So after Puddin that he released, so which is based on casein, he's right now going with this route. And so beef pro, I'm not aware of the prices as far as the beef protein, but egg is probably a bit cheaper, right? So yeah.
I mean, you might be able to speak to that point, Robbie. What's the cost roughly of egg protein versus whey protein right now, since y'all have the egg?
You'll be very, very, very surprised, but we paid about $1. Depends on the flavor, between $1 to $2 more than isolate.
Really? Oh damn!
Yeah.
Damn.
But the good thing, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing, but the thing is, when it comes to egg, so with isolate, the prices are very, very stable, right? Like they pretty much either stay the same or they climb a little bit up. With egg protein, the prices are fucking all over the place. They go up, they go a little bit, well, not a little bit, substantially down. So it's like, to give you an example, the price of isolate because I remember I was in Holland when the manufacturer called me, and at that point the price of isolate already hit $20 a pound. No, a kilo, I think, or a pound, something like that. So it was $20, and the egg protein we were just about to start manufacturing was 26. And then it dropped to about around 20, same as isolate, but we ended up, I think, if I'm not mistaken, paying $21.50 for egg protein, and then we were quoted actually around $18 for the same quantity, maybe a month or two later. So I have no idea what's going on with that, but the prices are like all over the place. Like, I mean, as you can see, they can go to 26 to as low as 18. So I'm not quite sure like what's going on with that. Isolate pretty much, I think it's like today, if I'm not mistaken, it's probably around like 22 maybe.
Damn.
I guess it's due to the fact the demand is changing.
Yeah, beef I don't know, so I'm not going to speak on that because I didn't even inquire about that, so I have no idea.
Jojo, hello guys. Hello Jojo. For all you people tuning in on live stream, you guys got any other questions, or you want to hear Robbie or Lukasz rant about something? Feel free to enter some fodder into the cannon, and we'll fire away.
Hey, by the way, one of the fun questions that I wanted to ask you guys.
Oh no.
Do you got a favorite utensil and a favorite, and when you're eating your meal, do you use bowl or use a plate?
The fuck is wrong with you?
Is this a FUAD question? Is this a FUAD question?
You know why I'm asking this question? Because I was talking with Scott McNally from Think Big Bodybuilding, and when he had his podcast this week, he asked his colleagues this question, because I sent it to him. So he was like, "Okay, let's answer Luka's question," and I was laughing my ass off. So I just wanted to ask you guys. The main question is, do you ever use a paper plates or paper bowls.
Yeah.
Not unless I'm at a party and they have paper plates or bowls here.
Yeah. Oh, I need to warm up something quickly, maybe then I'll do it. I mean, it's not very comfortable though.
No.
Why do I feel like you're setting me up for something, you prick?
No,
I do have a favorite spoon though. I'm weird, and well, people that know me or have talked to me know that I am a creature of habit. I'm a robot. So every night that I eat this meal, it is in the same my yogurt concoction where it's Greek yogurt. I've got this giant 4-pound tub of Bulgarian yogurt that they have at the store now, which is just it's a whole fat milk yogurt. But anyway, I'll do a cup of that, do a scoop of protein powder, do 2 servings of frozen berries, do some chopped up dark chocolate chips, and then I'll throw in whatever, like some spirulina, and I'll throw my creatine in there for the day and some of the mushrooms and all that stuff. So you mix it all up. And I will eat that with the exact same spoon and the exact same bowl every night, just because the bowl, I've mixed this up to where it gets too cold before and the mixture gets too thick, and I've actually bent a spoon trying to scoop it up out of the bowl. So I have to use the right spoon that is thick enough and strong enough to where it won't break when you go to spoon it out. So yeah, I don't eat off the exact same plate for my lunch every day when I'm at home eating. But we've got 8 or 10 of the exact same kind of Corelle plates. So I mean, it's more or less it's the same thing. But for that yogurt bowl concoction at night, it is the exact same spoon and the exact same blue pop and lock Tupperware container that I always eat out of. Exact same one. I've been doing that for years now. So yeah.
I'm not as strict when it comes to plates and stuff like that and forks and whatnot, but when it comes to drinking tea or coffee, I have my favorite cup, and it irritates the shit out of me if somebody else is using it. I don't know why, but I'm very territorial when it comes to it. So when I see somebody is using my cup, it drives me fucking nuts.
And that's why I'm asking this question, because I know I'm not weird here, so I
Yes,
know
you
that.
are. You are. You are.
No, I'm not. I know that people are super strict as far as utensils and type of glasses or bowls or plates they are using.
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked some guys at the gym this question, and they were all laughing at themselves, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I got my special fork with this turtle. I got this." For example, my ex-girlfriend, when she was competing in his fitness categories and so on, she had this fucking little fork when she was eating her meals, just because she said that the fork is small, so it's like she eats more.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy, but at the same time, it's like
Yeah.
that's
No,
tricky.
man. I'm a creature of habit. It's with a lot of things. So yeah, that and it's when I enjoy a bourbon, I've got the same rocks glass that I'll drink out of 90% of the time. If I want to change it up, it's just because it's dirty, or I just want a bigger glass or something like that, or I just go through different moods or anything like that. Yeah, it's the idiosyncrasies of people is amusing, to say the least. I haven't listened to Fuad's podcast in probably a month. Have there been anything, any weird, wacky questions that would be fun to answer from that?
Oh yeah, plenty.
I'm a little nervous to ask.
Straight away, I can't remember everything because right now they are talking about so many subjects. The last podcast was with Nick, Guy, and who was on?
Roman?
No. The new guy without amputee, without 3 fingers. I don't remember the name. Yeah. There's a new team member of Hostile. So
Joe
Josh
Chipper.
Shear.
Justin
Yeah,
Shear.
exactly.
Okay. All right.
Very, very funny guy. He's awesome. Yeah, he brings so much positive vibe into the podcast. So yeah, it was cool to to hear from him.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to a couple of them because it's been a hot minute since I've tuned in. Here we go. This will be good. Bucked Up, the people behind the infamous deer antler velvet pre-workouts, is releasing an energy shot shaped
I
like a
like
shotgun shell called a buckshot.
I like the packaging.
I know, I do
Yeah,
like
it looks
that.
pretty cool.
That looks cool. Hunting season.
There you go. The ingredients has chosen to power its on-the-go buckshot are similar to its packaging and not that common. Okay, we got some B vitamins. We got magnesium. At least they're using the good form of magnesium. 300 of N-acetyl-L-tyrosine, 200 caffeine, natural caffeine, 100 milligrams of tryptophan. Okay. 50 milligrams of alpha size, 50 milligrams of theanine, and 50 micrograms of huperzine.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see what they're going with the tyrosine and tryptophan because you over supplement with the precursors of one side. Like you take too much L-dopa and not enough 5-HTP, you're going to tilt that balance and you can actually lead to worse mood and like feelings of depression and all this other stuff. But I don't think that same problem is going to apply with going just regular L-tyrosine to that because the body's got other, feedback mechanisms where it's going to tightly regulate those neurotransmitters. But 5-HTP and L-dopa are the direct precursors to those neurotransmitters to where they kind of bypass that rate limiting step in the synthesis process of those neurotransmitters. So I don't know if I agree with that inclusion in the formula, but what do I know? They make millions, I'm sure, off of the Bucked Up pre-workout. So, what am I to say anything?
Hey, by the way, did you guys saw that Kamix is releasing another version of his pre-workout?
I did.
It
It's
was
V3 or V2?
Yeah, V3.
V3,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's gonna arrive this month. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Because Gorilla Chemist always puts some really good formulas.
He's sharp. Brian is one of the sharpest guys in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also huge supplements released their new version of Rack. You guys saw the formula? Well,
Yeah.
Robbie, what you thought? What you think about it?
You know what? I think it was pretty much like I like the fact that it's kind of like similar to the previous one, so I like that. Um, I the formula. Let's see. There was something. Well, obviously, S7 was the first one that made me very disappointed, but I mean, not surprised. But you know, every time I see it, I'm not very happy about it. The pump is pretty good. The pump is definitely a step up, no doubt about it. They did good on that. The focus is pretty decent too. The energy is okay, but for me, every time I see area gerances without horgenin and PEA, then it kind of like loses its full potential, in my opinion. But it is good. I mean, it's there. I think it's a good formula. It's solid formula. They always like come up with good things. The alpha yo at 1 milligram. I think 1-2 milligram is always enough. I don't think you need to go like to 3-4 or whatever. It's unnecessary. I think it's a good formula. No doubt about it. It's solid. Would I say that this is better than the previous one? Maybe when it comes to pump. Other than that, not disappointed, not overly impressed, but good.
Mm.
What do you think?
You know what?
This is
When I,
not something that where you go right from like the first one to this one and you go like, wow, that's quite an improvement. This is not a disappointment, but hardly is an improvement.
well, they made some decent changes.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to say that, but at the same time, we are seeing basically, a bigger dosages of some ingredients. I would like to see some replacements,
yeah,
and
me too.
and honestly, I would like there's some stuff. I like that they're like sticking to agmatine because I
Yeah,
personally like this ingredient. So and probably half of the Europe heroes is also a big fan of agmatine. By the way, agmatine is banned.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you know what? Like, in terms of energy, the caffeine is not really hardcore by any means, which, from huge supplements, I would expect a little bit more in terms of like to be a little bit more like kicking ass. I don't
Mhm.
think this is anything that will kick ass. This is very mediocre when it comes. I wouldn't even call it hardcore, to be honest. I would call it average. The pump definitely, with the citrulline 8 grams and stuff like that, it's a step up. I'm gonna leave it up to Robert to discuss. Probably he already knows where I'm going with this. The malic acid inclusion. I'm very, very interested what Robert is gonna say about it. Other than that, like I said, to me, this is what I call not bad, but very forgettable um, change. Nothing that I would be like going, wow, I'm impressed. Good, that's solid. Let's move on. But Robert, what do you think about the malic acid?
I mean, it's just at least they're labeling it correctly because there's like every citrulline malate that you see on the market. And I know Mark has touched on this for a bunch of the times about NutriBio over the years. Is that there is no bonded citrulline malate on the market anymore. It is parts. You tell them you get a 5-to-1 ratio of citrulline malate, so you get 5 parts of citrulline to 1 part malic acid. That's
Mhm.
basically what they're doing here. So that at least they're labeling it correctly. They've got 3 grams of malic acid in there. Is there some mechanism by which malic acid or malate could support energy production? Theoretically, yes. But is that the rate limiting step in any of these buffering or energy production phases in the body? Not. It hasn't been identified in humans yet. I like that they labeled it correctly. So that's all well and good. I don't think you're going to be getting much tangible benefit, but the flavoring will be nice because it's got a nice tartness to it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that like malic acid can help with with the flavor and mask
Mhm.
some ingredients.
Yeah.
And they're like using a decent dose of lion's mane, and we all know that lion's mane may taste like shit for some people. I personally don't mind it, and
Yeah.
I like the shroomy taste, but
Yeah.
people can complain. So malic acid can help with that fact. So
I got a feeling this thing, if you leave it out, like the tub you just put it in your pantry, this thing is gonna clump like a bitch with probably within like 8 to 10 months at most, or maybe within
Yeah.
6 months, because you got the 4 grams of Hydromax
Mm.
and the
yeah,
3 grams of betaine. I mean, that is just asking to solidify into a rock.
once you open it and like take maybe 1 to 2 scoops and put it away, you're fucked
Yeah.
basically.
Just keep that bitch in the freezer.
Yeah.
But in
Well, when I
in the
when I saw it, I thought it's gonna be a little bit different, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's got 325 total caffeine between the anhydrous and the dicaffeine malate. You got 150 of theobromine and urea for that longer lasting energy. You got the rewalsine for the added a little bit extra aggression in there. So I mean, overall, I think we're gonna put like blow your face off pre-workout. This isn't there. We put C4 Ultimate, which has 300 milligrams of caffeine, or pre-gym. Put that. We'll put that here, and then we'll put like regular C4 all the way on this end of the spectrum. This is kind of in that middle spot to where it's not. It's a step above like your pure like high caffeine pre-workout, but it's not so far to the edge of an extreme like you're worried that you're gonna light your balls on fire when you take it.
And that's the major, to be honest with you. I mean, that's the major problem I actually have with this one, because huge supplements, but they position themselves as a good, solid. And I asked Lukasz about hardcore brands. I
Mm-hmm.
know these guys are positioning themselves as hardcore brand, and to me, this is not, like you said, this is not a hardcore pre-workout. It's not saying that it's a bad pre-workout. It's a solid pre-workout. It's among the better ones probably, but in terms of like if we're entering the hardcore pre-workout, this is definitely not it. It's like you said, it's somewhere in between.
Yeah, I think it could be like somebody's gateway pre-workout into the land of the more extreme ones or the
Hmm.
more higher stemmed ones.
I
Would you
definitely
say,
agree.
Lucas?
I definitely agree with what you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the pumps and performance are there. You're getting a decent amount of focus with the 1500 of tyrosine and the 600 alpha GPC. The S7, it's there for support. I'm not going to highlight it as a hallmark feature of the product by any means, but hey, if it's it's in there, it's fine. It's cheap. It doesn't really throw off the flavoring that much, and if there's any kind of minor benefit from it, sure. As long as you're not walking around saying massive pumps from S7, then if you want to put it in there alongside a quality dose of citrulline and betaine, that's fine.
Yeah, hardcore definitely not. Improved pumps from the first one, I think yes. Focus is decent, good. Energy mediocre for a hardcore. The main thing with this would be what what you pointed out, and I failed to realize right away. The clumping with this bitch could be really a problem.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Put
It's
it
gonna
in
be
the back.
gnarly.
Yeah.
Alex, I think Flex Lewis ate all his meals with a baby fork as well when getting ready for the O.
Yeah.
Probably so. Jojo, when it comes to calorie cycling, macro cycling, depending on training days, rest days, in your opinion, does it make a difference as opposed to just keeping calories, macros consistent in regards to physique goals and strength goals? Gents?
My thoughts, I always keep all consistent, so I don't cycle my calories. I try to keep them on the exact same level basically every day. I'm not super restricted nowadays with my calories because I still got like plenty calories to spare. Because on a daily basis, I'm eating around from 3,900 to like 4,000 calories, which is a decent amount. So, and bear in mind, I'm like right now, I'm in a like maintaining phase. So, one day I may like eat a bit less than I aim for, and but other day, I may eat a bit more. So at the same time, it keeps it in the one level at the end of the week. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm not like super restricting as far as like cycling my calories. Some people, think that they should like eat less when they're not training, but I think that it's not like a smart. Personally, I think it's not like a smart idea, and I think that you recover and when you rest. So basically, you need those calories, just to like recover properly, and after like few days of rest day and eating a good amount of calories, you're going back to the gym like super loaded, and you just want to train. So that's what I would answer.
Rob?
I agree with Lucas. I never counted. I mean, I never counted calories. Period. I never considered myself a scientist or mathematician when it comes to like things like that. I was more going by intuition. If I need more, I need more. If I need less, I need less. If I see that I'm a chubby bastard, then I just cut, and if I need to gain, then I add, I mean, simple as that. Uh, I, I would maintain, like, say, a healthy diet. I would probably sometimes, when going super strict, I would cycle maybe to an extent my carbs going up and down, but not necessarily my calories. I never really counted my protein. I never really counted my fats. I knew approximately where I stand. I knew approximately how much I need. I listened to my body, and my body will always tell me what to do. If I did have a cheat day, say I'm on a strict program and I need a cheat day, then the cheat day would be exactly that. I would eat what I want, when I want, and how much I want. But I prefer to do it on a day that I don't work out, to like literally have a cheat day where I don't have to worry about training and cardio and whatnot. But I think like cycling calories, I think it's just way too much work. And I think this is for me. I think it's unnecessary, because Lucas is a big fan of bodybuilding and stuff like that, and he knows, athletes from the 80s, from 90s, and all that. If you look at those pictures and stuff, and you would notice that for that. Nobody walked around with fucking logs and write everything down in a gym. Today they look like they fucking writing a poem or a story or a book. They in the gym between the sets, they writing everything down. Like, what the fuck? Why you can't remember how much you lifted last time? I have a pretty good memory. I know where I stand, and on any given day, I can be a little bit stronger and a little bit weaker because, due to stress levels, due to food, due to how much I slept, how much I rested. I'm not going to walk around and write everything down. I think it takes away the fun of it. And I just don't think it's necessary. If you want to see a six pack in the mirror, then just put in the work and train and diet and just be consistent and all that. So I think, what Lukasz said, cycling calories, not my thing, really.
Jojo, I agree with y'all. You just hear all the gurus suggesting high and low days for leg days. I mean, there's a couple of ways to look at that. Like, if you are somebody that is purely interested in building mass and gaining strength, I don't really see the utility in cycling your calories, because then you're going to get into this mental masturbation of, oh, wait, I didn't work as hard today, so I shouldn't eat as many calories. That's not your goal at this point. Your goal is to fuel your body with the nutrients it needs to recover so that you can continue to overload. You don't need to be like, more people have trouble, and this is the reason so many people kind of get stuck when have trouble putting on mass, is that they don't have any consistency with their calorie intake. So I think one of the things that most people have an issue with when they shoot themselves in the foot with is when they say, all right, well, I'm going to calorie cycle. So I did leg day today, so I'm going to crank up, I'm going to eat 6,000 more calories today than I need to. And then, oh, it's just a cardio day. I'm just going to eat, I'll eat 4,000 calories today and do all this. It just, all of this up, down, up, it adds another layer of complexity to something that you don't need to, especially if you're just an average person. Like, if you are a physique competitor and you're getting ready to step on stage, maybe some calorie cycling will benefit you to get that last little 0.5% tightness, or maybe it's better for you to stick to your diet, where the days that you're training your balls off, you're going to want to have some more calories. But at the same time, if you're under eating the day before you have that, bust your ass training session, then you're going into that workout in a depleted state, and you're waiting to save all those calories until after your workout. You're kind of handicapping yourself going into that. So for like the average person that's just focused on trying to just keep things as simple as possible, and the easiest way to do that is just set your numbers, stick to that, and then just do that day in and out.
I'm also like a big fan of the statement, don't eat like an asshole. And
Right.
basically what Lane Norton is always like, saying, and I think that's so true, because nowadays people think that to gain mass they need to eat so much calories, and they're like, it's fucking perma-bulk, or like, all these stupid terms, they're like trying to, eat so much food, and after like 2-3 months they're like, chubby fat bastards, and we see all these people, and after they bulk, they cut, and like all their mass is gone. Why? Because they gain only fat. That's why.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're not training. They're just like going to the gym, sitting on their phone for like 23 minutes of their 30-minute workout, and that's basically it. So
right.
Yeah, I just don't understand this fact. So yeah, but I think that the main point here is to just like keep it clean, stay realistic with your calories. If you're like trying to gain muscle, do it. Just like make a clear statement. It's not like a sprint. It's more like a marathon. So try to increase your calories slowly and see how your body reacts. So every like week you can monitor, and not just on the scale, but also in the mirror, and just like see how my body is improving, how I feel, what's how is my digestion going, and how is your sleep, and so on. These markers are like super important. So if everything is going well, then you can just like eat more and eat more, and based on that do your adjustments.
Yeah, well put. And I don't think people in the bulking mindset or strength gain cycle need to worry about calorie cycling. the if you're dieting, maybe that will help you stick to your diet to where you do kind of like you do 5 days of really super aggressive deficits. I'm talking like a 20 to 25% deficit. And then on the weekends, maybe you just bump that up to where you're either eating at maintenance or just in a very modest deficit to where like over the course of the week, you've maintained a consistent deficit. But since maybe you're meeting family and friends or you're going out with your wife or girlfriend or something to a nice dinner on Saturday night or Friday night, and you want to have a little bit extra calories so you're not just eating rabbit food the entire time you're at dinner. That's fine, but that's more an experienced dieter. If somebody that is just getting into this for the first time, I wouldn't suggest doing calorie cycle. That's another layer of complexity they don't need to deal with. They need to figure out how to just stick to a diet first off.
Because you know what, I think that what you just presented is a clear case of overcomplicating things, and I think that's exactly what they're doing. This is not rocket science. It's not that complicated, and like Jojo said, he called these fuckers gurus because they act as the gurus. They fucking geniuses, but they're not. They're just milking people out of their hard-earned money, and they lying, and they trying to use big words. I mean, today you go to a gym, a lot of fitness centers, you see fucking more tripods with cameras and than people, and everybody's like doing an angle. Please don't be in my way because I have a camera over here. It's fucking ridiculous. And the physiques are not better today than they were 10, 20 years ago. We don't see progress. We see a regress where people actually talk more, big words, macros, and what you call it, and a gallon of water, and and Tupperware, and what else? All these words they didn't exist, and I make it sound as if I'm really fucking ancient, like I'm old, because people just didn't. Athletes did not talk about it. It's exaggerated. It's overthinking. There is no need. If you're gonna have an ounce more of steak, nothing's gonna happen to your physique. You're gonna be 100% fine. You don't need to, they're walking around with these fucking watches and shit like that, steps and calories and whatnot. I'm not saying it's bad, because I mean, technology is always good. It's helpful, but sometimes it's exaggerated, and it's, stop thinking, just fucking put in the work, train hard, diet hard, use good supplementation, and be patient. The results will come, but don't overthink it. I remember that for a first couple of years, I had a real phobia about kicking people. Like I could punch, but I could not kick. Especially when it came to a body kick, I would not kick. I would hesitate all the time. If you put a pad in front of me, I'll kick the pad. If you put a bag in front of me, I'll kick the bag. But sparring and stuff like that, it didn't even look like I was a kickboxer. It looked like I was a boxer, and I would get the shit kicked out of me because I had a phobia. So my coach, I remember, noticed it, and he goes to me, "Why you're not kicking? You're pretty good at kicking. Why you're not kicking the body?" I was like, "Because I'm scared." He goes to me, "What do you mean you're scared?" I said, "I'm scared that I'm going to kick somebody's elbow, and it's going to really fucking hurt my shin, because it happened before." So, nothing is worse than an elbow to the shin. I mean, you're in pain for weeks, and it's excruciating pain. It's really, really painful. It's bruised badly. I have some pictures. I'll share it with you later. It's pretty bad. And he goes to me, "Do you want to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." He goes to me, "So what is your problem?" So I explained to him. I said, like, "Well, how should I kick that I don't get hurt? How should I kick? What's the angle?" And I started asking all these questions. He goes to me, "Can you just fucking kick? Stop thinking. Just kick." I mean, what do you mean just kick? You just just kick. And that's what I started doing, is just kicking, and it worked out. But at one point or another, just fucking diet and just fucking train and just fucking shut the fuck up and just put in the work, and the results will come. All these theories, all this overthinking shit, cycling and I gotta drink 2.72 gallons of water. What about 2.8? Or how about 3? Or what's going to happen if you're going to drink 2? Nothing bad's going to happen. You'll be fine. But this overthinking it's leading nowhere.
Yeah, it's something that the average individual does not need to bog themselves down with. So, last call for any comments and questions from you guys in the peanut gallery. Otherwise, I will let Robbie and Lukasz enjoy the rest of their weekend, or what's left for daylight for Lukasz before the sun goes all the way down.
It's already gone. It's dark outside here.
There you go.
Before we end the show, I wanted to ask you, because you released this week an awesome, and I mean it, just like awesome podcast with Daniel.
Yeah.
And I just, because you're not the type of person that like hypes your stuff up, and you should take like more praise, and you should definitely like go up there and just like share more stuff about what you're doing, because the interview with Daniel was just amazing. I was probably one of the first people that just like once it was uploaded, I was like, oh damn, I need to listen to it. So yeah, what was your thoughts? And I just wanted to like hear some stuff backstage.
What Lukasz is trying to say in his own language, whatever the fuck he's speaking right now, is that you're a very neat person.
Yes.
A very neat person. Yeah. The interview was neat.
Thank you.
Since we're on the topic of neat, real quick, the director of bands at LSU in college, he would always say neat. His favorite word was, oh, that's neat. That sounded really neat. This is really neat. And so we would always have, like, every year we would have a different slogan on the back of the Tiger Band t-shirts. And one year we just had neat, just to kind of do, because that guy had been at LSU for like 50 fucking years by the time Sandy and I got there. So yeah, the word neat. I just remember that. I hadn't thought of that in years. Anyway, yeah, the interview with Dan was awesome. So I met him in person for the first time at Apollon back in October at the seminar, Robbie. And so him and I got to talk for a bit, and then we just kind of said, hey, let's get something on the books. And then as we do, he was busy, I was busy, I forgot to reach out, and then we kind of had agreed to do something, and then we kicked it down the road and all that stuff. Anyway, the good thing is that, I mean, the time flew by like that. When you get a good interview going, the time just flies. And it's kind of one of those scenarios where we hit that hour and 15 mark, and I thought, man, I could easily go for another hour and a half, just because there's so many other, roads we could travel down. I thought, I don't want to keep him from his family and all this other stuff, but I mean, it was great. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge, somebody that's worked at the pinnacles of what this industry is, making serious money with some of the biggest names in the brand. And he still works to this day. We didn't touch on current companies he's consulting with, because that's just something Robbie's got his hand raised. But that's a thing, and I kind of leave that to the guest. Do you want to talk about what you're currently doing, or would you rather not? Because depending on who you're talking about, some brand owners get a little bit touchier about something if you mention their name or what you've done with the brand. So that's why, me, most of the time, unless we have the express, like, written or like the extreme blessing of the company, we just keep our mouths shut. But I don't know, guys, look at the bottom of your screens. Should we let this dipshit in or not? The latest entrance ever. You made it by this much, because we were about to start doing our wrap up ever so slightly. But yeah, it was a great interview with Dan. There's a ton of stuff, and I wish there were certain things we said before the podcast and after the podcast was recorded. And you always want to have like that X-rated version of the podcast where you just kind of plaster everything, but you won't be working in the industry much longer if you said those things on air. So
you know
Shane
what?
Can relate.
Dan is one of those guys that is like Lukasz said, and like you, Robert, said. I mean, his knowledge of the industry. I mean, this guy, I can tell you, Dan and I had known each other from the days he was with Gaspari, and then briefly with NutriBio. And then when he came on board with Apollon, like literally was actually, I will tell a funny story about Dan. Apollon was like very, very small company, and I've known Dan's wife, girlfriend, fiance, Aaron, for quite some time. I coached her when she got a pro card and whatnot. So we've been friends on and off. And when he actually came on board to help Apollon we were surprised because it was his initiative, and I knew at the time that he worked with like very big companies. I mean, his knowledge is absolutely insane. And but the way he treats the company, he literally treats it as his own. Like literally, he asked me for even with Kay being away, he asked me for breakfast. We met up like 2 or 3 days ago for breakfast. He paid for breakfast, even though he's technically employed by us. And he gave his perspective. He always comes prepared. If you need, say for example, a product or to discuss a product, he comes up with a name for the product almost instantly, which is very, I mean, if you ask him about certain athletes, he will break it down to you, the benefits that the athlete might provide or not. He's also very, I mean, I'm not surprised that, like Robert said, there were some probably things that he could not include in a podcast, and it was behind the scene, because then he's very outspoken. If he doesn't like you or he doesn't like somebody, he will voice his opinion. And there were a couple of times, I'm not going to mention people, where he went on social media and he basically, so to speak, attacked those that deserve to be attacked. I mean, he's not going to hold back. And I think that what he brings to the table is absolutely incredible. And when it comes to gurus and so many people who claim to be knowledgeable, Dan is actually knowledgeable. He's very, very well. He actually knows formulas. He knows ingredients. He knows what to do. I mean, he formulated a lot of products for many companies that people don't even know of. And even today, he works, besides with Apollon, which is a smaller hardcore company, he worked with some serious giants of the industry, and not many people even know about it. So, I'm glad that this interview, this podcast finally happened, because he's definitely the man, and I respect him tremendously.
Yeah, and he also took a shot at all the massive amount of supplement awards that have started to become popular, and he kind of called him out as saying, who gives a shit? Like, who are these people to start naming awards? The one caveat is that he did recognize the Stack 3D awards as being legitimate. So,
yeah,
there you go,
yeah,
Shane.
yeah. I love when he mentions Shane, and he said that that the how he I don't remember the exact words he used, but I will say he said that Shane award is the most important in the industry, but in genuine, and he's just like basically is unbiased. So yeah, that's basically why I also like shared
No,
this.
and it's true, because the thing is that again, I don't want to say something that Dan said to me, even though I know, because how honest and transparent he is, I could actually quote him, but again, I'm not going to do it. We all know the answer as is, but some of the awards and some of the platforms that I know for a fact Dan just has absolutely zero respect for, and he doesn't even consider them. And if you look at some of his clients, again, that I won't mention, none of his clients, the ones that are know of right now, work with any of those or collaborate with any of those platforms. And some of it based on the fact that Dan just doesn't recommend it. And they still as successful or more successful than most of these companies. So Dan is definitely paying attention to the industry. He definitely knows exactly what's going on. He knows ingredients. He knows what companies are making waves. He knows what companies are just basically a lot of hype and they don't deliver anything. He knows them. And some of the companies that I know that reached out to work with him, and he literally turned them down. In fact, I know one of the giant companies in recent months, again, that I won't mention, that Dan fired them as opposed to them firing him. Dan literally fired his client. And it wasn't the first time for him to do it. So he's definitely a man of principles too, which I respect tremendously.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Oh, I think all of us are watching UFC except Lukasz, because Lukasz has to get his beauty sleep so he can do his 165,000 steps tomorrow.
Yes.
Dude, I'm no different. I ain't gonna be able to see it.
What's
It's
that?
gonna be too late. It's gonna be late as shit over here. I understand why Lukasz wasn't stay up and watch it, because it's gonna be like fucking 2 a.m, which is Lukasz's gym time.
Yeah, it's something like that. 2 in the morning.
Yeah, dude. I
I'm
said
in
it.
the I'm in the another world, basically.
Where is Shane? Are you not in Florida anymore?
Nah, dude, I'm in Manchester, the UK.
Oh, I didn't realize that. When did you leave?
Wednesday.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah, it's dark 30 out there.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
I left on Wednesday. Wednesday your time, got here Thursday. But my apartment didn't have. It was a furbished apartment. So it's got a fridge, it's got a washing machine, it's got a dishwasher, but no fucking microwave.
Weird.
So I had cream of rice waiting for me when I got here. And then I was like, fuck. And so me and Nikki, no knives and forks either. So I ate my chicken breast the other day with scissors. I just stabbed the bitches in there, and I was eating them off the fucking scissors.
Savage.
And then I said to Nikki, I said, I gotta have carbs before deadlift. So I boiled some water in a frying pan, and then I poured it into the cream of rice. And because the bowl we had wasn't microwavable, I put it in a shaker and just stirred the bitch up. It did not turn out how I would have thought, and I ended up just eating what was like sand. And I mean, it was all good because I was just doing a spoon, swallowing, doing a spoon. It was a good sauce, but I can tell you that my stomach, I think, was still digesting. I'm sure there's something to it if you just have the cream of rice powder straight versus, cooking it.
Yeah.
There's something missing there. But I mean, it went down. I didn't blow it out my ass or anything like that. So
okay,
it's still in there somewhere.
It's a good thing.
That's why I was late. We needed to get appliances. Cream of rice is more important than this, unfortunately.
Apparently so.
I also had chicken breast. I also had like pre-cooked chicken breast, meal prep, ready to go.
Yeah.
And then Nikki's like, put it in the oven. That bitch took so fucking long to thaw. I may as well have just put uncooked chicken breast in the fucking oven.
Ew.
It would have cooked faster. So, yeah.
Hey, you got the plain version of the cream of rice or flavored?
I got flavored, man.
Not flavored.
I thought about it, and then I was like, nah, because I wanted to mix it up. I wanted to be different. I got raspberry.
Oh, that's nice.
Living on the dangerous side, Shane.
No, raspberry, because I don't want chocolate on chocolate. So, oh yeah,
Nah.
Lucas, when I called you earlier today, were you fucking walking?
Yeah, I was walking.
Yeah, I fucking thought you were.
That's why it was so fucking windy, man. I was in the woods.
Is that because you're walking so fast, or was it just because it was windy?
Yeah, no, the weather was fucked today. It was like changing all the time. It was like windy and it was like raining, but at the same time, it's like in like 5 minutes it was sunny. So it was a madness today, but still, I did my steps.
There you go. Sridhar asks, Lucas, what do you do to keep your joints healthy and avoid injuries given the intensity of your walks and workouts every day?
You know what?
Just walks more.
I played basketball for like almost 18 years, and I never had any issues with my ankles, with my knees, anything like that. Like 90% of my team members from back in the days, right now they have some type of an injury. They can't play anymore. They even can like go to the gym just because they have some owies, and they're basically fucking snowflakes. But that's another topic. But yeah, you know what? As far as like, I think you asked me about the supplements. So basically, I hyperdose on omega-3 fatty acids, which in my opinion they are like very underappreciated, and I think that's something that people should put more emphasis into.
How much do you take a day?
About 10 grams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on top of a diet.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, so it's like three cups. I think basically three 3 capsules with every meal. Eat like 3-4 meals a day.
Jesus fuck, man.
It's not like it's that big. Did you only swallow the capsules? That's expensive, though. That's got to be expensive.
Yeah, I have like 1 capsule with 3 meals.
I just take 3 in the morning. I just, as soon as I wake up, pretty much toss them back with some vitamins or whatever I'm taking.
The best option is from Now Foods.
Mhm.
They have the big container, which is like 500 caps, and I buy it that way. So
that lasts you a week and a half.
Yeah, man. On top of that, I also add 1 gram of turmeric curcumin
Mhm.
every day. So I spread the dose into 2 500 mix twice a day. And last one, which is probably, I've got it here, probably my favorite.
Cissus. Yep, Cissus is awesome stuff.
I love that.
How much are you taking a day? 3 grams worth?
Yeah, 3 grams.
Yeah.
That stuff is just unbeatable as far as like joint health and so on. So just like nothing can beat it.
Robert, in Nova Farm, they have what, like 4 grams or 5 grams or something like that, or 4.2 for some reason, I think, something like that.
Nova Farm Cissus or Super Cissus, I think it's 3 grams. Let me pull it up.
You think it's 3? For some reason, I thought it was a lot more.
Let's see. Superior Cissus, Nova Farm. 180 capsules. Oh, you're right, Robbie. 4,800 milligrams and 6 grams. So it's Quadriflex, Cissus quadrangularis extract, standardized to 5% keto steroids.
5%, yeah. The SNS is also 5%.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
How many capsules is that?
6 for this one. 3 caps daily, twice with food.
I don't know why, but I like the powder.
Is it flavored or no?
Unflavored.
Okay.
He's a savage.
Yeah, man. And that's basically it.
10 grams of fish oil and some tuna, some just raw tuna straight in the morning.
No, but trust me, you feel like a newborn, especially with this dose of omegas. So,
Lukasz, how long have you been taking it?
Oh, I can't recall, man. A lot.
Since you came out of the womb.
Well, no, the reason why I'm asking is because I'm never taking it, and I was wondering, like, if you start taking it, and you have some kind of issues with joints or whatever, how long do you think that you notice that there is an actual difference, or you don't?
You know what? It's not that I had like any joint issues or anything like that. It was like I was a big fan of Ben Greenfield's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an expert, back in the days, and they were discussing this subject about like supplementing omegas. And Ben said something that he takes like 5 grams. And I remember that back in the day, I was taking this dose around like 5 grams. And this, I don't remember the guest name, but he said that you should bump it up into like 10 grams to see much more benefits. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And basically I stick to this dose. I know it for some people it may be like super expensive, but I don't drink, I don't go out, I don't party, so I use my money like in a different way than other people. So yeah.
Simon says, I felt improvement after adding MSM. How much are you doing, Simon? 1 gram, 2 grams, 3 grams a day?
See, I don't drink or party, but I don't know if I have the money in my budget to 10 grams of fish oil a day. That's a shitload of fish oil, man.
That's a lot of fish oil.
Like I said, if you're going with the bulk orders, that's the best thing, 3 grams.
I actually got Ava because there was a company here that had kids gummies, probiotics, multivitamin, and fish. And I hate fish, as I've mentioned a million times before. And I gave her the gummies, I gave her the the probiotic, the multi, and I said, this is fish oil. This is going to help with heart health and function and all this stuff.
Brain fuel.
And so she had like had a bite in her face because she thought it was a gummy. She bit into it and she looks at me and she's like, "There's something wrong, Dad." And I was like, "What do you mean? It's yummy." And she's like, "I don't want this." And I said, "Well, eat this and then I'll give you your dinner." And she said, "No, I don't like it." And I was like, "How bad can it be? I bit this bitch and I didn't even like it. It was fucking horrible. It tasted like fish." I was like, "God, I thought that if you made a kid's gummy, you would be able to just get rid of it completely."
Yeah. There is a liquid that we buy for the halfling that we get off Amazon, and it's cherry or strawberry flavored fish oil, and she seems to do that pretty easy. So if you can get a bottle of that, and then just get one of the little syringes that you give them medicine with, and just pop back 5 mils of that, and it's sweet. It's not super.
Well,
fishy.
I think we got to do like what 20 mils, 30 mils if we want to keep up with Lukasz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There are some.
Pour that bitch. Just take a gulp. Just take one sip. One sip a day.
All right. Any parting thoughts, gentlemen, before we put a bow on this? Last call for questions for the Peanut Gallery watching.
Shane, where are you training?
Oh man, I'm at a funky ass gym. I'm at a what's it called? Pure Gym. It's kind of like an Anytime Fitness, like 24-hour. It's like to be honest, this is the, what do you call it? What do I say? Convenience versus quality right now. It's a pretty good gym. It's got a lot of stuff, but it's a very mainstream gym.
What about money-wise? Like, how is it expensive?
Oh, dude, it's a great deal.
Okay.
It's like $45 a month. Well, like 35 US, give or take. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
There was it's literally 3-minute walk. So I can take my pre, and as I get down the elevator, go out, get to the gym, it hits right as I get into the door. You can't even pay for timing like that. That's damn good.
Yeah. Do you take an Uber to get to the gym? I mean, I know you don't like to walk, so I mean, it's
no. That's how close this is. 3-minute walk. It's close enough that I will actually walk.
How many steps? 100 steps?
Dude, I don't understand. The other day when we went from Florida to New York, and then New York to Manchester, like same day. But the day before that, we went to SeaWorld, and then the other day we went to Disney World. I clocked up like 16,000 steps. I was fucked, man. I was fucked. Right? I didn't, but the thing is that I did all these steps. I did like 16,000 steps, but my calories weren't that high. But if I go to the gym, they would end up higher than if I did 16,000 steps. And I know that's, if it, whatever. But
yeah,
if I tripled those steps, I would be fucking dead, man. I'd be toast. Even if I don't even understand, even if I tried, I could not triple my steps. We were at Disney World for like the whole fucking day. I couldn't do triple. There's no way. And you're telling me you do that every day? I'd shoot myself. No offense, but I'd shoot myself. Because I said to every time me and Nikki are like, man, we walked so many steps today. It's like 16,000. I'm like, yeah. It's like a third of Lukasz.
Yeah, Lukasz did that before breakfast.
It doesn't seem that good once. Yeah, it doesn't seem that impressive now that I know Lukasz does 50 daily.
Yeah, my body.
Ours is a little more fun. We met like Minnie Mouse and shit, but still, it's
3 days ago, my body was on a hike, and after the entire day, he sent me a picture of how much steps he did, and it was like something around. It was less than 20,000 steps, and he was like, "Look, dude, how much steps I did." And then I sent him my picture, how much steps I did. And he was like, "Fuck you."
I feel like Frodo wouldn't have even.
Fuck.
Yeah, the entire trip to Mordor, he didn't have 50,000 steps.
Going to Mordor,
him and Sam had so many domestics, they didn't have time.
You wouldn't match.
They were too busy arguing all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, those bad guys, the Urukai, they would probably come pretty close. Those motherfuckers were machines. I didn't see them stop at all.
Who?
The orcs and the Urukai? Yeah.
Yeah, the guys that walk, like, they just open the gate and they're like, go there. I didn't see them bitches stop.
Yeah.
I think they might have Lukasz beat. Maybe.
Simon
Or an
says
ant. Maybe an ant might beat Lukasz too.
maybe an ant. One negative, crazy freaking dreams on MSM, and it is a fact. It stops when I stop MSM. What if you took your MSM in the morning instead of at night? You could try that, Simon. I know we figured out Sandy can't really take any sleep aids aside from like Benadryl, but even on melatonin, she has some weird ass dreams. I gave her the Glaxon sleep aid one night, or even just like a half serving of the Glaxon while she was flipping her shit. Same thing when I gave her the AML calming cocktail, that sleep aid. The only one she hasn't had those weird dreams with is the Genius brand one, but she hasn't run that in a year or so. But I have more vivid dreams, but I don't think I have any crazy nightmares or anything like that. But she flips her shit with some weird dreams.
I've had some wacky dreams like without a sleep aid.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell sometimes if it's a sleep aid or I'm just a little bit off.
Yeah.
Like, because Nikki has dreams sometimes and she'll wake up, and I believe this is a female thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen stuff on social media that makes fun of this, and like she'll wake up and she'll be like annoyed and short with me, and she'll be like, "You won't believe what you did in my dream," and I'm like,
Yeah,
the fuck you talking about?
Sandy does the same thing. Does the same fucking.
And she's like, it was so real, and I'm like, yeah, but you know it's a fucking dream. What's your problem? And she's like, you cheated on me with some whore, and I'm like, did you see her face? And she's like, no, and I'm like, so not only is it not real, you don't even know who I cheated on you with in your fuck. And I'm like, it's like it was my dream. If it was my dream, I could understand that you might be annoyed, but it was your dream. You made this shit up.
I would ask her, why did you thought it was a whore?
She's not saying like whore isn't a paid one. She's just calling her that because either way, I'm like, at no point should I be in trouble for this whatsoever. But she's like, the feelings are real. Like, yeah, but the dream fucking wasn't. So, you know.
It's a very common thing.
Yeah. As I've discovered, other people have told me this is a common thing.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, but common.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's an oddity of the female sex.
If I wake up and something happened in my dream, I'd be like, man, that was whack. Oh, now I'm hungry. Let's go have breakfast. I'm not gonna. I'm like, it was a dream. It's like a scary movie. If I watched Independence Day and America was blown up by an alien ship, I'd be like, God damn it, America's fucking gone. No, it was a fucking movie. Okay, it wasn't real.
I find it interesting that you labeled Independence Day as a horror movie.
No, not a horror movie. I'm just saying, like, when you see things in a movie and like you don't think they're real. Horror movies is the same thing. I don't get too scared about horror movies because at all occasions I'm like, this is not Chucky. It's not a real killer doll. Right. It's a fucking puppet, right? And Jason Voorhees and Saw, and I'm like, these aren't fucking real.
Shane.
What's that?
Have you ever seen The Exorcist?
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
One? Yeah, that's a messed up one.
But I think it eased me into the use of like, because at a point it was very weird that you had creepy little children in scary movies. It wasn't that common.
Yeah.
And then when they started like The Grudge and Skeleton Key, and you had all these scary movies and when you first saw the little girl in there, you're like, what the fuck is a toddler doing in there?
Yeah.
And you like lose your shit because she's like gonna come kill you. But then after a while, you got used to it. And you're like, oh, they just put another fucking scary kid in there.
Yeah, it becomes a trope.
It's not as scary because then you realize you're like, oh, beat that bitch out, easy. If I saw Chucky, I'd slap him sideways.
Yeah, just kick him into the furnace. That's all you got to do.
Because none of them have superpowers, really. Right. I mean, Freddy Krueger does a bit, but like none of them really have superpowers. They're just meant to be scary.
Yeah.
And at no point. Yeah, so every time I watch these movies, I'm like, this is pretty cool, but this is bullshit.
Agreed.
I think is it Cynic? Whatever it is. Whatever.
Okay. Jojo, would you give up for the rest of your life all pre-workout products or all coffee products?
This is fucking
FYI,
easy.
Fuad podcast question.
Yeah, it was one of the questions from the last one.
It's so fucking stupid. But we can definitely entertain this, but it's so fucking dumb. I mean,
Well, I don't drink coffee. So.
I think that's exactly where I was going with this. You know, it all depends on the fucking, fact whether you're a coffee drinker or not. Somebody who is like devoted coffee drinker is never gonna give up coffee. It's just not possible. So it's the same thing as teacher's stupid Paul. You know, I mean, it makes no sense, but it's just, I guess, fun.
I
easy,
would
too
give
easy.
up pre-workout before
Me
I gave
too.
up coffee.
Me-
Just
me-
because
me
I
too.
enjoy the ritual of making coffee, grinding the beans,
What?
trying
Yeah.
the different flavors of stuff.
Yeah, I'm with Robert on this one. I enjoy
I
coffee.
love coffee.
Yeah, me too.
Didn't
I mean,
we
there's
have
days-
the podcast where we
Huh?
discussed whether we would give up 6 versus a pre-workout?
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, you were willing to give up sex.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that was the caveat was you could do other things in addition to just like the standard, meeting of that.
Yeah, you could just have an energy drink.
Yeah.
You could have like a green tea.
Right.
You could get a fake coffee powder and put some caffeine in it. Boom, same shit.
There you go. Yeah, I like the flavor of coffee. I don't have coffee every day, but if push comes to shove, I'll probably say, that's pre-workouts are nice, but I can do without them. I'll stick
I
with my
don't
coffee.
think there's any flavor in existence that I wouldn't give up for pre-workouts.
I like regular black coffee. I don't need to put creamer and sugar and sweetener and all this other bullshit.
Yeah, but
in it.
I'm just
give me
saying, I don't
delicious black coffee.
have it. I like chocolate. I would give up chocolate for the rest of my life to have pre-workout. Fucking done.
Okay.
I wouldn't give something up for the taste of it, but yeah.
What about you, Lucas?
You know my answer.
You don't need to do fucking out. I was gonna say, man. This is pretty obvious.
Coffee flavored pre-workout. Hell yeah. Hey, sorry,
Shoot it.
but I just love my pre-workouts. So.
Coffee flavored pre-workout. Have there been any that have done that? I've been saying somebody should be doing this for years, and I just don't see most people doing it.
Did some.
I think I've seen like a functional coffee, like a more,
Yeah.
but not
But
really like a.
You can use it as a pre-workout. It's gonna be weak, but so. No water.
Yeah, just put a scoop of your pre-workout in the coffee. Done.
I have done that before.
So many times I had like a week pre-workout as a pick-me-up type of a drink during the day.
Yeah, but what's it, a game changer?
Yeah.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Sport version, bro.
Yeah, as long as it's a game changer, you're good.
Yeah, it was a game-changing sport version.
I see what you did there. That's not nice, but it's funny.
Yeah, you see what I did there?
What? Yeah, but did you make? But did it make you glow?
Oh yeah, man.
There you go.
All right, gents. I think we will call that a wrap on today's episode. We'll take this moment to remind you to sign up for the Stack 3D notifications newsletter, subscribe to Shane's podcast, leave him a review.
The podcast has been pretty lazy, but whatever.
Yeah, notifications for the latest news in the supplement industry. Absolutely. Make sure to share the podcast with family, friends, and loved ones. If you're interested in checking out supplementengineer.com for all kinds of fun articles, nerdy shit, sign up for the newsletter. I send out a once weekly free email blast that is not pervasive or invasive in any way. Just delicious, yummy sports nutrition knowledge. And for the big, sweet
fat discount,
use code FINALSCOOP at apollonnutrition.com. Save 20% off. All the links to the salient points of contact and subscriptions and whatnot are down below in the podcast notes.
Shane, so since you cheated on Nikki, Was the woman like a big fat cow?
I don't know. She didn't. She never really. I mean, she was really pissed in the morning after this dream.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm not
because
gonna. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, was she
yeah,
hot?
yeah,
Right?
but
Did she have a nice ass? Were her boobs big?" I'm gonna
you,
get eaten alive if I
you
ask
see,
him a question.
I'm just curious. Who did you cheat it with? I mean, that was very, very interesting.
She basically said it's kind of like when you have like I guess when you have like a scary dream or whatever, even a good dream, you might necessarily remember how you got to places, and you might not necessarily remember details, but you remember sort of the actions.
Yeah.
So I understand when she says, "I don't remember what she looked like,"
She was chubby.
but
She was chubby,
no.
so she was a big fat cow.
I feel like if she was chubby, Nikki would have said that to me. She's like, "Yeah," and she wasn't even that hot, but she never says that.
So okay, so I got it. So you have a bad taste in women that you cheat with. Okay,
In her dreams, yes.
in her
But to be
dream.
fair, if it's like a dream made situation where I cheat on her,
She
I
had
feel
a
like she's not gonna want to pick like a. I mean, so I'm cheating on her, but I'm not even like whatever. Like I said,
she had a bag on her face, so she couldn't see.
God, oh no.
Did she have a
Lights were
beard?
off with a pillow over her head and a paper bag.
Did she have a beard?
dude. I mean, you're asking me if I look. I know. I'm smart enough to know that if I ask too many questions about a situation that she's annoyed with, then I'm just gonna get my ass beat and find myself in more shit, even if it's not justified. So
Hey, I hope
no,
she
I don't
was.
ask too many questions.
Do you like it when she gets a little rough with you, Shane?
Huh? Like she gets rough.
Hey, you said she was beating your ass. I said, do you like it when she gets a little rough with you?
Yeah, man. Nothing wrong with feeling a little weaker.
But were you wearing the hoodie?
No, I was hardcore, man. I was wearing the shirt.
Okay.
All right. All right. We will leave you all on that note. We'll catch you all next time on the Final Scoop.